right there, Latin AP and Latin 3. Here we are, Caesar, Book 1, Chapter 5, Caesar 1:5. Okay. After the death of him, or Rhetoric's death, the Helvetii, I love this, nihilo minus is usually one word, and they actually split it up. Nevertheless, the Helvetii nevertheless tried to do that which they had decided to do. They depart from their borders. Okay, so even though he's dead and he clearly was trying to seize power, they still liked his idea. They still went with it, which calls into question why they were going to leave in the first place. I have my theories. There's a podcast I could recommend. When the Helvetii, thought that they were ready for this undertaking, for this journey, they burned all their towns, which numbered to about 12. They burned all their villages, which numbered to about 40. And they burned all their other private dwellings. They burned all their grain, except what they were going to bring with themselves, so that, with all the hope of returning home was removed, they, the Helvetii, would be more prepared to undergo all the dangers. Cortez did this too when they landed in the Americas, specifically I think Mexico. He burned all his ships because he's like, oh no, we're going to make this work. We will not retreat. We will succeed or die. So it's that kind of thing. And they, the Helvetii, ordered each person to bring for himself from home grain that had been ground sufficient for 3 months. So 3 months worth of ground grain. Now, we could do a little bit of math, and if we meet in person, it's a really fun exercise to do. But essentially, I have us figure out exactly how much space is needed and how much of a wagon train you need, and it gets explosively large. It's quite something, and that's assuming that they find water along the way. Otherwise, you got to carry water as well. But yeah, it's quite something. Anyway, they, the Helvetii, persuaded the Rauraki, another tribe, and the Tulingi and the Latobriges, which I've always mispronounced until now. So there's 3 more tribes that, depending on the same plan, or following the same plan, and once they had burned up their towns and villages as well, that being those 3 tribes, the Rauraki, the Tulingi, and the Latobriges, that they, those 3 tribes, should depart with them, the Helvetii, and the Boii, who had lived across the Rhine and who had crossed over into the Norican territory, and who had besieged or attacked Norea, that they, the Boii, join them, the Helvetii, plus the 3 tribes, the Rauraki, the Tulingi, and the Latobriges. Once they, the Helvetii, had joined them, the Boii, to themselves, the Helvetii, as allies. So in other words, they annexed them, okay? They absorbed them as well. So if you think about this, it's not just the Helvetii. It's the Helvetii, the Sequani, and the Aedui. They all have an agreement, right? But coming in through the back end, they're bringing with them the Rauraki, the Tulingi, the Latobriges, and the Boii, who had crossed through the Norican territories and had attacked Norea. Now, it's not going to be the Noricans and the people of Norea, but it's going to be all these tribes, and they're just all coming with them. So that's a lot of people. So we're really starting to see the menace of this, especially if we get to do all that math. It'll be called Operation GTFO, and it's a lot of fun. But here's hoping we can do it. Otherwise, you know what I'll do is I might make a separate lesson and put it up on a whiteboard for you or something like that. It's a lot of fun. All right, I'm going to hit the button.